Welcome back to Rabid Noise. Joining me on the program now is Rachel Bolan from Skid Row. Welcome to the show, man.
Hey, man. Good to hear from you.
Yeah, well, it's awesome to have you on the show, and thanks for taking the time. So I've got to say, I'm really looking forward to this tour with you guys and Ugly Kid Joe, as this is going to be the first time I get to see you guys live. So what have you got in store for your fans down under on this tour?
Well, as you may know, we just put out, last year we put out the first of a three-part EP series called United World Rebellion, Chapter 1. And so you'll be hearing some of that. You'll be hearing a lot of the, everything that you came to hear. We're going to try and jam as much into the show as possible. And, we haven't been there in years. Last time we came through, it was quite a while ago. But we're really psyched because we just did a European tour with Ugly Kid Joe, and it couldn't have gone better. So we're really excited. We're going to hit Japan and New Zealand and then see you guys.
Oh, man, we are really looking forward to this tour. And I've got to say, your latest release, that was the United World Rebellion Chapter 1, was awesome, man. And we're soon to see, you said it was a 3-part installment. So when can we expect Part 2, and what can we expect from that?
Well, it's funny. We're all the guys are in Atlanta right now, and we just finished up demos for it, and we're just actually finishing up pre-production because Monday we go into the studio down here, and we're going in with Jeff Tomei, who worked on our last EP. It's heavy, man. It's really heavy, and it sounds, classic Skid Row. You got your heaviest stuff for the dudes to bang their heads to, and then stuff for the girls to bang the dudes to. So it's we're really happy with all the songs and the way it's turned out. And yeah, man, we can't wait. We're expecting to release it in some point in June.
Awesome, man. Are you going to be playing some tracks off that on the tour as well? Did you say?
It's a good possibility, yeah. I'm sure, I know us, we can't wait. When we get new stuff, we just can't hold it in. We'll probably shove a song in there, I'm sure.
Awesome, man. I can't wait to hear it. Hey, it sounds like it's going to be really, really awesome. So you've been in the industry for many years now, and you've seen heaps of trends come and go, but you've always stuck to your guns, and that's something I've respected about you personally. What are your thoughts on the current rock and metal scene at the moment?
Well, it's funny. Bands come out, like new bands will come out, and I'll get into them for a while, but I always find myself going back and putting on British Steel or, Back in Black or a Kiss record and all the stuff I grew up on. I guess that's a natural thing, but it seems, there's a lot of really good bands out there, but a lot of bands that I've seen either, have a laptop on stage that's running backup vocals or some sort of thing going on, which has always been a sore point with me no matter who does it. I think that's why I have such crazy respect for Kiss, because everything that's coming off that stage is being performed at that moment, and it always has, and that's the same with us. So, I mean, it seems rock and roll has gotten a little lighter these days, but, if I want my dose of real heavy stuff, I'll throw in an Arch Enemy CD or something like that and get my fix, because I love that band. And I mean, it's still out there. It's just you can't hear it on the radio anymore, at least in the States. It's really hard to hear hard rock, and the scope of rock has had to widen so much because of it that it's like rock is almost crossing over with adult contemporary at points, and it's just very strange. But we're hoping things change soon. It's nice to be around as long as we have, and to have seen trends come and trends go, and just to kind of be on a straight path to what we want to do,
I still see people around with Skid Row shirts. All the mainstream rock bands these days, that people wear their shirts for a year or so, and then it's in the cupboard bin. But something about Skid Row is it will always be there. Like the classic bands like your Judas Priest and your AC/DC and Black Sabbath. And that's something, as I said, I've respected about you guys, is you've stuck to your guns, and that's what's real, man. You guys are the real rock and roll,
Well, I appreciate that, man. I mean, yeah, we take great pride in what we do. We really, really do. And we know how fortunate we are to have a career that has spanned as long as it's been going, and it shows no sign of slowing down. I mean, we have so many festivals this summer, and And like we're coming to Australia, and like I said, New Zealand, Japan, we haven't been to in 19 years, and we're going back there, and we're doing Download and Vakken and the Polish Woodstock, and we're going to be playing in front of some of the biggest crowds we've ever played in front of in our career. And to be 25 years into it and able to see that is something, for me, it's something monumental, because we accomplished so much in the past, and it's just, here's one for the old guys. We're still going out and loving what we do, which is most important. And I think people recognize that and appreciate it. And we can't be more appreciative of the people that actually come to see us. And it never gets old, man. Stepping on that stage and watching people sing our songs back while we're playing them, we're just like, we'll look at each other and be like, is this happening still? This is awesome. It's great. It's good.
Oh, the ultimate buzz, man. I'm sure it would be, just getting up there and just feeling that energy from the crowd, singing those songs would just, being from that standpoint would just be amazing.
It really is. I mean, we did a festival in Korea, the beginning of last year, and the crowd was really young, and I was surprised that how young the crowd was. And we were watching a few bands before us, and I was wondering whether they were even going to know our songs, because they were teenagers, And when we went out, they went absolutely crazy and knew all the songs, including the new ones. And it's a really, really good feeling, man. It's a really good feeling to be able to transcend the generations. And I always wanted that in the back of my mind, and in my heart. When I'd see Kiss after seeing them for 20 years, I'd be like, wow, people are starting to bring their kids. I see their kids on their shoulders. I'm like, I wonder if, that will happen with us. And now that it has, I'm like, man, this is really, really awesome. And that's how, I'm the youngest out of 4 kids in my family. And that's how I got turned on to, Hendrix and Creedence Clearwater and all these bands that my brothers and sisters turned me on to. And, I didn't get to see a lot of them, but I was listening to the Rolling Stones, for instance. I guess I was about, I don't know, I was young, and I bought Sticky Fingers on 8-track, on 8-track tape. I bought Sticky Fingers and would not stop listening to it, So to have that going on for us now, where older brothers and sisters are turning their siblings onto it, or parents are turning their kids onto it, it's a really good feeling just to have that.
So you started Skid Row way back in the late 80s, and where many bands have fallen away, what has kept the fire in you to keep Skid Row charging on all these years?
I always tell people, it's like wanting to be a musician doesn't get into you, it's in you. You just have to catch up with it. It's in you from the day you're born. And that being said, it's just something that we love to do so much, and it's just a part of us. I could never imagine. Snake and I have had this talk. We're like, are we ever going to retire? Are you planning on retiring? And we both just look at each other and go, hell no. Look at someone like Mick Jagger, and the guy's in his 70s, and he goes on like an award show and just absolutely blows away any other entertainer on that stage. And you watch this guy and you're just like, it's unbelievable, and it's so inspiring. So loving what we do, not to sound cliche, that's a big part of it, but also just the creative process of writing songs when you're done. I can't imagine, and you love it, and all the guys in the band love it, and you go out and play it, and then the people that come to watch you love it. And I can't describe the feeling, what that means to us, to just be able to do that. I couldn't imagine not having that whole process where a song just starts out as an idea and then it becomes something that grabs other people that you don't even know necessarily, and they're into it. I can't imagine going through life not doing that.
I totally agree with you there. As a muso myself, it's so addictive. Even just getting up there on local shows, you just feel that energy and it just keeps pushing you forward, and the writing process and knowing that you've created something that you can put on a CD and it'll just be there forever, and it's
exactly, dude. And yeah, exactly what I'm saying. It's like, it comes from a stupid thought in your head, the tiniest thought, and next thing you know, it's just, okay, here it is, and we're recording it, we're playing it, and people are digging it. Like I said, I couldn't imagine not doing that.
Yeah, it's the best thing ever, man. It really is. So,
Absolutely.
What do you think has been your proudest achievement as a musician? You played so many shows over the years and released some killer albums. Like, has there been one sort of moment that's really stuck out to you where you've just gone, this is it?
We keep hitting these highs, and I keep thinking, oh man, this is the peak, this is the pinnacle, and something else will happen. Like I was saying before, we're headlining this festival in Poland, and there's going to be, the attendance is 500,000 people, and like I can't get my head around it. I don't even know what it's going to look like. I don't know what it's going to sound like from the stage, and so I'm sitting here thinking, okay, this is going to be the absolute biggest crowd we'll ever play in our careers. Whether we go for another 20 years or what, this will be the absolute biggest crowd we ever play in front of. So I'm like, when stuff like that happens, it reboots the system. It's like, okay, here it is. And then something else happens and stuff like that. Like back in the day when we went number one, that was really cool on Billboard when Slave to the Grind went number one. That was awesome. Saturday Night Live was awesome, and that was something I always dreamed of. I dreamed of that more than ever having a number one record, and we played that, and it was incredible. And then the band broke up, and we got back together, and we overcame a lot of hurdles, and we were able to go on tour with Kiss, and that was another dream of ours, and being Kiss fans, we toured with Kiss, and okay, it's not going to get any better than this, and then we start making new music, and we'll go and play like the place in Korea. And, we've just been playing so much since, year 2000. We've been averaging 100 shows a year, and we always seem to hit a new high every year.
To be able to keep getting that high off your achievements, it's just awesome. And I hope you're going to film that show, that one in Poland. I hope you're going to film that.
Oh yeah, we're gonna film that. We're gonna film a lot of the festivals, the Wacken Fest, and we're playing. I think we're on 6 festivals right now, and then touring in between it. And we're gonna be doing a co-headline, us and Buck Cherry, through a lot of Europe in between the festivals. So that'll be cool because they're a younger band and a different demographic more or less. So it's gonna be cool. That's how Europe is different from the States. Is Europe is accepting to. You could put someone like Buck Cherry and Skid Row together and people would be like, cool, go see this. It doesn't necessarily have to be from the same era or same genre. Where in the States, people like to keep it neat and tidy and okay, they have to be metal bands and this and that. They have to be from this era. It's a little bit different over here, but not saying that there's anything wrong with it, but it's pretty cool to be able to go out and play, shows with bands like that, like Buck Cherry. And, a few months ago we were playing with Ugly Kid Joe. So it's cool to be able to just bounce around from, different types of bands and go out and tour.
Definitely different genres as well, you know what I mean? Like within, as you said, they keep it tidy over there, but in Europe they seem to like their death metal with their classic stuff which I love, man. That's what I love about that place,
Oh, absolutely, man. It's the festivals, I can't believe how diverse the lineups are on the days that we're on. We're doing one of them. I think I forget which festival it is, but I think we're on with Status Quo. I mean, they've been around for a long, long time. And, so that'll be cool. It'll be great. And we're also doing, I believe we're going to be on Rocklahoma in the States here. And it's very, very diverse lineup. It's a lot younger, band the day that we're on with. So, it'll be cool, man. We're looking forward to this year.
You also played bass with Stone Sour on the House of Golden Bones. How different was it working with those guys compared to the Skid Row guys?
Well, the most obvious difference is, these guys are my brothers. I've known them for years. Scotty, Snake, and I have known each other. Geez, I've known Scotty for 30 years. I've known Snake for 26 and Johnny for, 15. So, That was a big difference in the type of music. And I had met Corey, and just out of the blue, I got a call one morning, and he had said, yeah, we part ways with our bass player. Would you be interested in playing on our new record? And I just said, yeah, where and when? Because I'm a fan. I love that band. And so I'm very honored and really, really flattered that they thought of me. And I flew up to Iowa, and they'd give me, I think, 23 songs to learn, and so I just kind of I left the CDs, the demos playing while I slept, so it would creep into my head. And every day I just go down in our rehearsal room and play to the songs and come up with parts. And when I finally met the whole band, I mean, they were so welcoming and just so mellow and so open to ideas, because I didn't know what they wanted. When you have when you know how it is, it's like you have an idea in your head and you have a vision of how you want something. You don't want someone coming in and just changing everything or stepping all over parts. So I was a little bit, I don't want to say nervous, but I was a little bit hesitant to get to change up parts too much. And they just said, no, dude, do what you do. That's why we asked you to come on and do this. And so I was like, okay, cool. If it's a bit much, just let me know. You're not going to hurt my feelings, and that's how we did it. And every guy was really laid back, and the producer, David Petrell, was so cool. And, it was just laid back. I mean, the studio door was open. There was apartments at the studio. There was a living room right off the control room. So I could hear guys watching, sports out in the living room while I was cutting bass tracks. And it was kind of cool. At first I thought it was going to be distracting, but it wasn't at all. It was just really cool, because they'd wander in every now and then and be like, hey, can you try this and this and that? And they'd, wander back out. And it was just really chill, and it made me feel really good that they trusted me, to do well. And I was really happy with my parts. The guys were really happy. They had asked me to go on tour, but obviously we had Skid Row, and so they got Johnny Chow, I think his name is, right? Yeah, good bass player, fits the band perfect. So yes, talk to Corey all the time. He's hilarious, that dude.
Yeah, he's a cool guy, man. Yeah, he's a really, really cool guy. Really down to earth dude. And
he is. And I'll tell you what, all those guys are so incredibly talented, man. Just the ideas, like getting back to the creativity thing. It's like a lot of it was coming from a different angle, like a different frame of mind as far as how to approach a song, because their songs have a lot more to it, like arrangement wise, than a lot of Skid Row songs do. So I had to really push myself, and it felt good. I walked away from there feeling very proud that, if nothing else, even if they erased every note that I played on there, I felt really good, because it took me to another level as a bass player. And but like I said, I dug it, and I couldn't be prouder of that, the work that I did on that.
Talking about, you say you love Stone Sour, where, there are a lot of bands these days that would class Skid Row as an influence on them. Are there any bands, like Stone Sour, or any newer bands that return that inspiration from you? Well,
I'll tell you what, I mean, not that we had any inspiration on the Foo Fighters, but the Foo Fighters, man, they're just a backstory to that, and then how they became so successful, and they just they don't make bad records, and they don't play bad shows. It's so damn good. And every time I listen to a Foo Fighters record, I get just so pumped up, and I'm like, this is great. This is just really great stuff. I don't know what bands that ever inspired off the top of my head, but as far as new hard rock bands, I would say the newest one I listened to was probably Arch Enemy, and they were super heavy. But I can't think of any off the top of my head, but I know there is some. I always listen when I'm home. A lot of times I'll put more mellow stuff. When I'm driving, I put in heavier stuff. That's just kind of the way it's always been with me. But Jen Wigmore from New Zealand, she's incredible. I just got her new album, and I think it's called Wine and Gravel, or Gravel and Wine, and it's incredible. It's incredible. I can't believe she's not selling a billion records, because the songs are so well written, and it's just so raw, and it's kind of, you just got to do yourself a favor and just go pick up her first two records. They're just really, really good.
Well, you've toured all over the world many times. Where has been your most favorite place to play so far?
Man, there's a lot. I mean, not just because we're talking, but we love playing Australia, because the crowds they're just rock, man. When they come to shows, they hold nothing back, and that's the same with the UK and like New York and a lot of places are like that. It's funny how over time, how places that were the arm folding judge and jury that stood at the back of the room when we first came out are now like Hollywood, for instance. When we first came out, it was like, okay, cool, impressive. New York was the same way. Now those two markets are so just wide open, let loose, not trying to impress anybody type of markets. And then you go to other markets, we're the let loose markets, like in some parts of the South in the States. And they're the, okay, impress me markets now. It's just so weird, man. When you don't go somewhere for a while and you come back and it's completely opposite, you're just like, what the hell happened to this place in the last 5 years, you know?
We haven't changed down here. We're still pretty crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, we took Dead City Ruins from Melbourne on tour with us and Ugly Kid Joe in Europe, and judging by those guys, no, Australia's not changed at all.
We like a beer and we like to get noisy. So if you bring your part, the music side, then, you know, we'll bring the rest. So
that's all I could ask for.
Yeah.
Man. That's awesome.
So what are your plans for Skid Row after this tour? Of course, you've got United World Rebellion Chapter 2 coming up, but apart from that, what else is coming up?
Well, I mean, other than the recording, like we start recording on Monday, and then touring. And this is the first time ever in our career that we started a tour outside the United States. We're starting in Tokyo, and that's pretty huge for us, you know, going back somewhere we haven't been in almost 20 years and starting there. So, you know, we have that, and then, you know, just doing the same thing, you know, touring, and shows are getting bigger and bigger. And I think we're hitting the States in May and July, and in between that, we're flying back and forth to other countries. So it's going to be a busy, busy year. And then after that's all done, we go right back into the studio to do Chapter 3.
Oh man, that's awesome. Well, I really wish you the best of luck with it, and I hope you have an absolute blast, man. We're going to go to the track Kings of Demolition now. I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time to be on the show tonight, Rachel, and we'll see you in Brisbane on April 26th at Eaton's Hill Hotel.
You got it, brother. Let's throw a few beers back. All right, see ya.